right, and welcome to a new edition of After the Whistle, Wednesday, January 27th, last Wednesday of the month. We've had a whole lot of crazy stuff happen on Wednesdays, but, we'll get through it. We here. Todd's here. I'm here. We back at it, and it is official who will be in the Super Bowl. And, some surprised, some not. Nobody's surprised at the AFC. Nobody's surprised who's representing the AFC. But the Tampa Bay Bucks ended two droughts. First, they ended their playoff drought, their 13-year playoff drought, and then they ended their 19-year Super Bowl drought. The last time they reached the Super Bowl was 2002, and man, this game was like, I don't know, the Packers they probably kicking themselves in the foot watching the film because they're like, wow, we really choked that away. Choked the opportunity away, I should say, of the game away.
Definitely. Rodgers started the game off kind of rough. When he started off, I was like, oh, here we go again. Yeah. But then they were still able to stay in the game, the whole game. Yeah. Then they made some bad decisions, kicking a field goal when they should just went for it. And it's kind of like a microcosm of Aaron Rodgers, to be honest with you, like him in the playoffs. Yeah, I was rooting for him. Oh well.
Yeah.
I went 50% though, so I'm alright. But like microcosm of Rodgers, man, he plays. It's kind of like that guy that plays great in the regular season, and then when it's time to win it, he just comes.
You have to go to another level. Yeah, you have to go to another level. Brady did that in the first half. This is the problem with the Packers. Their last 3 championship loss, they fall behind big. I mean, the Falcons, they fell behind 31-0. San Francisco, 27-0. This one, 28-0. And every time, Tampa Bay just set the tone for the game. They took the ball, their first drive, boom, down the field. Kevin King, ooh, Lord have mercy. He was like, it was like in basketball, mouse in the house, because wherever he was at, that's where the ball was going. And they did that, and it was like Green Bay was like sleepwalking in the first half.
Yeah, honestly, man, it just, the team starts with the QB, and I don't know, man. I just don't think he's built for those moments. I don't want to say, like, certain QBs in their championship are kind of flukes, but it seems like that way for Breeze, and it seems that way for Rodgers, because, Mr. Consistent is always consistent, and he's known for playing at that level. Honestly, that's all Brady knows is playing at that level. Yeah. So the other guys really aren't.
And you can see their defense too. We've been talking about their defense stepping up. You saw once they got the lead, then they started teeing off. They got 5 sacks on Aaron Rodgers. They couldn't block JPP or Shaq Barry. They were hitting. Them dudes were hitting in that game. They were hitting. They knocked out Aaron Jones in the first play of the second half. So those guys came out to play, and was more disappointing for the Packers. Their 2 starting safeties were out. Winfield Jr. and Whitefield. Whitefield got hurt. Winfield Jr. didn't even play, so they had backup safeties in there, and they couldn't even make no plays. And then Devontae Adams had no big plays. Like he had like six catches, but there was no 9 catches, I should say, but there was no big plays. The biggest play was 15 yards.
And he had that one catch in the end zone that if Rodgers would have threw it sooner instead of holding it forever. The game might have been a little different.
And there was 2 dudes open on that play too.
What's his name? Lazard
right there,
butt naked open.
Right
and
there.
It was an easier throw. It was right there in front of your face. But that's what I mean about some guys just don't have it in those moments. The moment's too big for some people.
Yeah, if you look at some of these stats too, if I didn't tell you the score, I said the Packers ran 8 more plays than the Bucks. They held the ball for 9 more minutes. They won the turnover battle, and you would think they'd win, but these are the 2 things. The difference is the Bucks turned 2 Packers turnovers into 14 points. The Packers turned 3 Bucks turnovers into 6 points. The Packers 2 for 4 in the red zone. The Bucks were perfect, 2 for 2. And the biggest play came from Gronk. I think it was like that 29-yarder to just kill time. And Brady was giving them chances too. He gave them chances. He gave them numerous chances, and they could have capitalized on the turnover. The one where the Bucks were in the red zone and they didn't score, it was like they got the interception. It's like, now this is your chance now to take this game. He's pretty much trying to give you this game, and they didn't.
They didn't want it.
They
didn't want it.
They didn't want it.
With you.
And it's just a bad look overall for the Packers. It's a bad look for Aaron Rodgers. He's gonna be the MVP, but it's just an overall bad look at their performance. Not going for it on 4th down. I was sitting there like, I'm like, you're not down 3. You're down a touchdown, and you're down a touchdown in the 2 point. You're down 8 points. You go for it. You see the difference is in coaching when you see the Bucks. They was like 8 seconds left. All right, let's try this. Let's try to get a touchdown before halftime. Or worst case scenario, we're probably gonna get a field goal. And they got the touchdown. And these guys, this is the fourth quarter too. It's like what?
So not only does the QB not come to play in big games, the coaches clam up in big moments.
Ooh, yeah.
So it's just a whole issue over there.
Yeah. So kudos to the Bucks, man. They are on a roll. That wild card streak. I mean, playing well. Brady pretty much showed them how to win. You could see like in the fourth quarter, their defense too stepped up in each of the last 2 games in the fourth quarter. I think they allowed 3 points in this fourth quarter, but they closed out the games with all the sacks and pressures. So, I mean, kudos to the Bucks, man. This is big. This is just big for them because the history of that franchise.
Yeah, they needed it. They definitely needed it. They had their trials and tribulations throughout the season, but in the playoffs,
they're peaking at the right time.
No, definitely.
And these guys, they were sleepwalking through the last month of the season, and then we talked about everybody was talking about the Bills, that Josh Allen, and we was here last week talking about the Chiefs are a different type of animal. I don't know if you're ready for this type what's coming for you. The Bills, I mean, they got spotted 9 points, and then after that, they just it was a wrap for them.
Yeah, they relied too much on Allen, to be honest.
Yeah, I think they're trying to make him more than what he is.
Yeah, like once again, he's not known for valuing the ball as much as Mahomes and Brady, so you have to put the ball in the running back's hand and try to stop something. And they don't have the best run defense. Yeah, you would have thought they would have tried to capitalize on that, but they've been riding that Allen train, for like the whole season. So Yeah.
And this is also for those people that try to actually say Josh Allen was, he was in the same class as Patrick Mahomes. They're like, Patrick Mahomes hasn't thrown an interception in the playoffs yet. In 3 years in his time as a starter, he has yet to throw an interception in the postseason. And what I like about what the Chiefs did is they were balanced. I mean, 38 passes, 25 rushing. They just kept giving the ball to Darrell Williams. They didn't shy away from it. And those short passes, those are pretty much like extensions of runs. So their offense was pretty much in tune. These guys look like they really trying to repeat. And
the Chiefs, like I said, they had some mishaps that happened due muffing the punt. Yeah. And then the guys give him a hard time, but Andy Reid making it a point to continue to feed him and build his confidence, which he came through. Yeah. So it's just that whole team is just, you can just tell that they believe in each other. Like they know how to win. Obviously they won it last year, but you can tell they have the formula, they know how to win, they understand their personnel. And
they just understand that it don't matter how much of a lead you have on us, they're coming back. You can be 21-0, 24-9, 31-9. The only safe lead a team can have on them is if they got like 45-3 or something like that. Because these guys, the way they score, and their defense has played a lot better. Their secondary has been making plays. The Honey Badger, he's always making interceptions, always making some type of play. So these guys, they're definitely clicking too, offensively and defensively. And this is going to be a tough matchup, but they lost their tackles. So their all-pro tackle, Eric Fisher, tore his Achilles in this game. So that's gonna be a problem. And I think they lost another tackle too. So they're gonna be shuffling around their offensive linemen. And the tackle's the most important position too, especially an all-pro tackle like Eric Fisher.
And you just want to come with like 100%. Yeah. You just want to be able to put the best product out there.
Yeah, especially with these guys, they're getting to the quarterback with just the pass rush. With us, their linemen, no blitzing. Usually they've been blitzing all season, so they've been getting it. But yeah, the Kansas City Chiefs, they're trying to be the first team since the Patriots, the 03 Patriots to repeat. I think that was the last team to repeat.
It was.
Yeah, so this Super Bowl matchup, I'm going to give you a quick preview of it. This is going to be an interesting matchup because, as you said when we were talking on the phone, it's like top-rated offense in the postseason going up against a top-rated defense in the postseason. And, man, it's just going to be matchups. And I think this might be the first in NFL history where a team has played the team 3 weeks in a row. They played a team that they've already seen before in the season because they played the Saints 3 times, they played the Packers twice, and now they're playing these guys again. This is the second meeting. It's the second time meeting, and it's gonna be in Tampa again.
Yeah, man. Like we said on the phone, like Tampa Bay has Fournette, You know what I mean? He's the number 2 rusher in the playoffs. Granted, you know, there's only 2 teams left. Yeah. You know, Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, Kansas City's high profile offensive plays, and they're 2 and 3. Yeah. You know what I mean? In the ranking. Man, it's just in the defense, almost half the Tampa Bay team is ranked top in defense when it comes to like tackles, sacks, and intel. So it's definitely gonna be pretty interesting. I would say they're definitely gonna have a hard time slowing down Mahomes because he hasn't thrown intel. He's averaging 8.5 yards a pass. Brady needs to tighten up.
Yeah, he can't be doing those brain fart moments like he did. You can't be because these guys, you turn the ball over, they won't score points. They're not gonna kick field goals. They're gonna get touchdowns. You give them a short field. Off turnovers, they're gonna give you touchdowns. Now,
is this the first year where Brady is playing a quarterback who's just as skilled or even more skilled? I want to say with his arm because you know he got no legs.
Yeah, I think so. And this is the first time. That it's a matchup of the 2 previous Super Bowl winning quarterbacks.
Oh, true.
So there's a lot happening in this. We're gonna have more on that next week, but there's a lot. And just quickly on the Bucks defense. So in this postseason, they've got 7 turnovers. They forced 7 turnovers, and the yards they've allowed in 3 games: 375, 294, and 381. That is pretty good. Despite how offensive heavy the NFL is, but you got these guys coming in and. Last time they saw Tyreek Hill, he had 200 yards in the first quarter. So I know Carlton Davis, he wants to redeem himself after what Tyreek Hill did to him. So I know he's probably going to be... I know he's very motivated for this game because you don't forget stuff like that. You
shouldn't.
You don't.
That's like having somebody score 30 on you in the first half. Like, you should remember that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
oh man, and then we go some other NFL news following this game. The Packers and the Bucks. Aaron Rodgers, made some comments that leave people wondering his future with Green Bay. I don't blame him. He was probably mad that they didn't go for it on 4th down. So he's like, right now it's up in the air. And you know how the Packers drafted a quarterback in the first round last year. So there's like a lot of uncertainty happening in Green Bay to see what's going to happen with him. But people would say he was just very emotional, and that was an emotional stuff he said. But he's, you never know because in this day and age of the NFL, these guys, if they want to leave, they're going to leave.
Yeah, it seems like in a lot of sports, the player has more control of their own destiny, which is dope, I think. But Rodgers was mad. He should be mad.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I'd be kind of upset if I didn't have the control to decide if we want to get a field goal or go on 4th down because he's been there long enough to make that decision.
Yeah, and I think you've seen it a lot. You've seen it in certain cases with quarterbacks, especially MVP quarterbacks, where they'll wave off the punt team. They'll wave them off. They'll be like, and they'll go for it.
I was gonna ask, is he allowed to do that?
It's true. He's a 2 or 3-time MVP. Yeah, he's allowed to do it. He's the franchise QB. He's allowed to do that.
So why didn't he? You know what I mean? Like.
I have no idea. I don't.
I wasn't too sure about that. That's why I was like, just now, because I wasn't sure if he was even allowed to do that.
Yeah, we see Lamar Jackson do it all the time. Wave off and Lamar Jackson's not the thrower that Aaron Rodgers is, but he does that. The quarterback has a lot of control. We've seen Brady do that too. We've seen Manning do that. We've seen all the great quarterbacks do that in certain situations, not all the time, but it's depending on certain situations. So he's mad about that. But if he's gonna leave. Or if he wants out, there's going to be some teams that are very highly interested in teams that are set up to win at the moment that are.
He might be a better fit for another team to help them get over the hump.
Yeah.
Just because I think his time over there is spent.
And there's the quarterback right behind you.
I'm sure he doesn't want to go through the same issues that Brett Favre kind of had. Like, you mentor him, but it's like, bro, I'm still the starting core B. Yeah. QB. He should learn from me, not me telling him everything.
Doesn't this feel like the whole Brett Favre situation all over again? They were in the NFC Championship game, they lose a close game, and then, Brett Favre, they pretty much forced him out. Yeah. They forced him out. This one, he's about to force himself out.
And it's kind of insulting, too. If you're a high-profile quarterback, one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and they draft a quarterback.
When they needed when there was needs at other positions, like wide receiver, there was some wide receivers that were drafted after that quarterback that helped their teams out that they could have picked up. So Yeah, the Packers made a blunder, and it might cost them their quarterback because we'll see like after free agency and stuff like that because usually this stuff will pick up in the spring as always. Also, did you hear this news? The Eagles and their new head coach and how this whole hire happened.
Nah, I just heard it's the assistant Nick
Sirianni, yeah, Colts assistant. They're trying to get that Frank Reich connection for Carson Wentz, but I'm not sure even Carson Wentz wants to return to the Eagles. Granted, he's under contract, but they're trying to find any way to keep him. But look, you already made Jalen Hurts has already gotten like the start, so I think that thing is all. No matter who's there, I think that relationship between the quarterback and just the organization, I think that's already. I think in the quarterback's mind, I think he's just like, I'm done with the organization. Yeah, I think because really. There's really no coming back from that. You were benched for like the last whatever games of the season and the guy played somewhat better. Granted the wins didn't total and all the scrutiny. So, but this guy, he was on vacation when they called him. And for the interview, he wasn't even. There was an article out. He wasn't even interview attired properly. He just threw on whatever and had the interview and then got the job and. And then people were just like, what kind of practice is this? Like, he's on vacation. There's no rush for you guys to hire. Why can't you just wait till he gets to get back, have a decent interview so you could fully understand or fully get a gauge at the candidate and not just, like, what?
I play basketball, so I can't even understand how the NFL thinks and how football players think for the most part because, I can understand football players think, but these guys, the GMs and owners and stuff, I don't get what they do in the front offices, man. I don't even understand how you could even allow to be interviewed without the proper attire.
Right? Like, God forbid, let me...
I know it's COVID and all.
Yeah,
at least put like a polo on. What do you have on?
He ain't have interview attire, proper attire on. That's the case.
And they're so quick to hire this guy. There were a lot of candidates that should have been able to, be heard. Get an interview. Yeah,
this whole hiring cycle of the NFL has been a tragedy. Granted, the Lions. There was criticism.
Came back.
There was criticism.
He was leaving.
Oh yeah, there was criticism. There was criticism of hiring the Lions head coach. I think Campbell his name.
They call him the Big Lebowski.
Dude was talking about biting knees and stuff like that.
That dude for the Big Lebowski too.
But I was listening to a podcast and they talked about the coaching staff he put up. 4 African Americans coaches that he put on. Aaron Glenn, Deuce Staley.
Oh, Deuce got a job?
Yeah, Deuce Staley's going to be the assistant head coach over there. So he put together a whole bunch of coaching staff, and they're all African American, the defensive coordinator and all that. So
that's dope.
So with the criticism, but he kind of brushed that aside by putting those guys on this because now they'll be in better situations in the future to get a head coaching job. And Deuce Staley, he's been climbing up the coaching ranks for years, and for him.
Nah, it's dope for him to look out for all of them too.
Yeah.
I know his little speech was a little intense because his generation's a little soft. So I thought it was funny. I'm honestly kind of need some comic relief with stuff like that, especially when the team is trash. You know what I mean? So you need some comic relief. You need to know that he's a normal human being, and for him to hire those type of high black coaches, I'm all for him.
Man said biting knees.
Yeah. He's a fighter. He's a fighter.
Well, they need a change in culture in Detroit because they've just, they've been sorry, and a lot of people in Detroit, they just, and when they talk about the Lions, they're just like, whatever. Their
head coach was like a rocket scientist, and he's better with the pass. Well, I told you, he'll be back in New England soon anyway.
Yeah. All right, and then lastly, the Deshaun Watson saga over there with Houston, it's pretty much close to a done deal. He's not returning. There's already been reports that he wants to either go to the Jets or to the Dolphins. And with the thinking with that is the coaching, the head coaches.
He wants to go to the Jets?
Yeah. Because of the coach. The coach they hired, they have a good defense and they have weapons on offense.
You're right too. The quarterback can change the whole franchise.
Yeah, you're right. Pretty much. And then the Dolphins,
I don't know about this blocking, and he likes to hold the ball.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the Dolphins, they got a good situation too because they got everything.
But they just dropped Tua like that. They didn't even chance. They didn't give Tua a chance to even blossom.
Yeah, you know how the NFL is.
Cutthroat, man. That's why I got an issue with that league, man. Like, they don't respect their players. They really don't respect them.
Cutthroat, yeah.
That's players and people.
Very, very cutthroat. So that's still going on, and the Texans, they're trying to salvage whatever relationship they can with him, but I don't think it could be salvaged at this time because I think he's felt disrespected, too much disrespect from the organization, and hey, when you're the quarterback, and nowadays when there's social media, when you can speak up, you'll make it uncomfortable for them to want to keep you there.
And we need to hold people accountable to being people of their word. Yeah. Men and women.
Yeah.
If you say you're going to include him in important decision making and you don't one time, you lied.
Yeah.
You're not trustworthy in my book. Especially if he's your only quarterback. He's the man he's the man in your franchise. He should be in every office with you guys, unless it's only like for GMs and personnel only. Yeah. But he should have a say in everything. They don't care.
Definitely. So we'll see how that goes out. We'll see what happens. Maybe like after the show's done, we'll hear breaking news that he's been traded because that's usually how things go. But yeah, that's man. There's a lot happening. It's interesting times. So we're gonna go to our Fantasy No Huddle with Craig. He's gonna recap Sunday's games and he's also gonna give a quick preview. So No Huddle with Craig.
What up, everybody, and welcome to No Huddle here on After the Whistle. It's your boy Craig, and here to give you my final update of this year's Super Bowl. And wouldn't you know, Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going up against Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, Belichick versus Andy Reid. It is going to be awesome. So, just like I predicted, Tom Brady, too smart, too determined, and way too much experience in the playoffs to lose to the likes of Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers fell to pieces. He crumbled under the pressure, and he couldn't get the job done. I believe that, as great as Aaron Rodgers is, he needs way too much. He's a spoiled little child, and if he doesn't get his way, he takes his ball and he goes home. On the other hand, Patrick Mahomes did exactly what Patrick Mahomes does, and he led his team to a victory. It was pretty amazing to watch. I definitely expected more from Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. A little disappointed that they didn't get their way, but can't win them all. And I think for a young kid like Josh Allen, he did very good what he had, and got relatively far this year. Almost made it to the bowl game. So it was very exciting on both sides of the NFL. But only two teams could prevail: Tampa Bay and Kansas City, taking it to the ship. Tampa Bay being the first team in NFL Super Bowl era history to be playing with home field advantage. So what does that mean for Tampa Bay? What does that mean for Kansas City? Time will tell. My prediction is going to be, as it always was going to be, Tom Brady taking home the ship, because Tom Brady does what Tom Brady does. They have a healthy roster, and I think you got Tom Brady with all of his experience. He's already had the humble era. He's already had the cocky era, and now he's in that I'm doing it for the love again. I'm just trying to prove that, I still got what it takes. I'm old. If I lose, it doesn't really matter. Patrick Mahomes is playing from a place of extreme cockiness. He's a peacock with his chest out and his feathers flying. He has a team that's supposed to win. He has a coach that's supposed to win. But unfortunately for Patrick Mahomes, he isn't going to be able to take home his second Super Bowl title because Tom Brady's standing in the way, and Tom Brady just can't lose. He's not built for losing. Yeah, has he lost before? Of course he's lost before. But he's won the bad boy 6 times. He's now going to the ship for the 10th time in his career. Name me a quarterback that's done that. I just don't think it's gonna end here for Tom Brady. I think he's gonna take it the whole way. I wouldn't be surprised if he does take home a ship that he doesn't retire. But playing at the top of his game, he did say that he wanted to play until he couldn't play anymore, until he sucked. And right now, he sure does not suck. Funny little statistic is Tom Brady has been the best quarterback over 2 decades. The best quarterback his first 10 years, and the best quarterback his second 2 years. Little Colin Cowherd tidbit. A lot more details to that, but definitely a guy who knows how to win, and I believe he's going to get it done. The Deshaun Watson thing is still looming over everybody. Where will he end up? I'm thinking it's probably going to be Miami, even though he has said that his favorite team is the Jets. I definitely don't want to see him go to the Jets, but we'll see what happens. A lot of quarterbacks in the air right now, not knowing where they're going to land. 10 really good quarterbacks could go anywhere. Matt Stafford, Jacoby Brissett. You got so many quarterbacks. Aaron Rodgers, is he going to stay in Green Bay? Matt Ryan, where will he land? Cam Newton, Tyrod Taylor. Just a lot of unanswered questions at the quarterback position. It's going to be an incredible offseason. I'm looking forward to it. If you're playing your squares, good luck to you. I definitely run a squares game myself, so we'll see what happens with that. But Tampa Bay over Kansas City, that's my claim, and we'll see what happens after that, after next week. And until then, back to after the whistle.
All right, thank you, Craig, for that on the No Huddle. And you guys know Craig will be with us next week as we preview for Super Bowl week. We're gonna try our hardest not to get canceled, but we don't know. We don't know. All right, New England Sports Update with Mia Len. Take it away, Mia.
Welcome to this week's segment of New England Sports Scores and Updates. I'm your host, Mia Len, and today I'll be breaking down the latest in the sports world over the last week. To start off, in NCAA men's basketball news, the Northeastern Huskies walked away from this weekend's doubleheader against James Madison with a win and a loss. The Huskies kicked off the doubleheader with a win on Saturday, 72-63. The team had strong performers in Jameel Telfer with 23 points and 5 boards, and Shaquille Walters, who had 15 points and 11 rebounds. Chris Doherty also made solid contributions with a double-double of 10 points and 10 rebounds in 20 minutes. In the second of the 2 games, the Huskies fell to the Dukes 72-79. Despite outscoring the Dukes in the second half 43-36, the Huskies weren't able to make up for the 14-point first-half deficit. Playing well for the team were Tyson Walker, who notched an impressive 30 points, 2 rebounds, and 5 assists, and Shaquille Walters, who recorded 16 points and 6 rebounds. Next up for the Huskies is another doubleheader this weekend against Drexel. Make sure to tune in to both games. Both tip-offs are at 1 p.m. In Celtics news, the team defeated the Chicago Bulls Monday night 119-103 in Jason Tatum's first game back. In the win, Jaylen Brown recorded 26 points, 5 boards, and 2 assists. Jason Tatum notched 24 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists. And Daniel Tice had 19 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists. Make sure to tune in tonight when the Celtics take on the San Antonio Spurs at 8:30 p.m. In BC men's basketball news, the team's next 2 games against Clemson and Louisville have been postponed due to, quote, positive tests, subsequent quarantining, and contact tracing within their program. In Patriots news, the team has brought back Matt Patricia on their coaching staff. Patricia was previously with the team from 2004 to 2018 when he worked various roles, including offensive coaching assistant as well as the defensive coordinator. In Bruins news, the team defeated the Pittsburgh Penguins Tuesday night in an overtime matchup thanks to Craig Smith game winner. The final score was 3-2. Other Bruins on the scoreboard were Brad Marchand and Nick Ritchie with a goal apiece. Lastly, in Red Sox news, the team has signed Enrique Hernandez to a multi-year deal, as well as Garrett Richards to a 1-year, $10 million deal. In addition to this, the team has made their first trade with the Yankees since 2014, acquiring Adam Ottavino in exchange for a player that has yet to be named or cash considerations. That's all I have for today. Thanks for tuning in. Now back to After the Whistle.
All right, thank you, Mia, for that. Oh, by the way, that was Mia's last sports update with us. School's starting back up, internships starting back up, her schedule's getting crazy, so that was her last sports update. We just want to give her a shout out for doing these sports update with us, and
appreciate you.
We wish her the best on what she's gonna be doing. So look out for her in the future. All right, let's get into some quick NBA stuff. Woo! Yesterday was the 1-year anniversary of the helicopter crash that killed 7 or 8 people with that.
I don't want to be misquoted.
Yeah, me either.
I know some important people lost their life.
Yeah.
Even not just Kobe and Gigi.
Yeah.
Everyone that lost their life is important.
We'll get the underline of that. Doesn't get talked about. 3 kids died in that. 3 kids. Like, they were kids, and 3 of them passed away with that.
And who knows what those 3 could have been in life.
Yeah, and they all shared the same bond. That was basketball. They all loved everybody on that in the helicopter. They all had a love for basketball. The Kobe Bryant, of course, he's coaching the 3 girls, the girls' parents, and they all just love basketball, and that was kind of their bonding thing. And it was just like, I still look at it, I'm just like, it's really been a year. And then when I see like videos of Kobe Bryant, and when NBA TV does stuff with ESPN, they show old highlights, I'm just sitting there like, he's really dead?
I'll be honest, I didn't even know until like the nighttime. And you know me, I busted on my Kobe for the first time yesterday, not even knowing.
Yeah.
And then I put the little quote on my story about Kobe. I had no clue it was the anniversary till like I said, oh, so apparently it's a big old quickie thing for me.
Yeah.
I must have been feeling the Kobe spirit too.
Yeah, man, it's that the whole situation. It's like we're a year removed from that, and you just think about it, and you're like, wow, that's like. It's like one moment we was watching Kobe do interviews. Kobe talk about his daughters, helping build up women's basketball, talking all that good stuff, and always smiling all the time. Kobe never smiled. Well, when he played, he never smiled, but but afterwards, he's always smiling. He was always happy, and it was just like, and then you just look, he's only 40. It's like,
I would say you are right about that smile. I think because, like, I'll be honest, even when I get into gym with the girls, you know what I mean, with Lady Bulldogs, I start smiling.
Yeah.
There's a different vibe. When you're around, like, guys and your friends and your competitors all the time, it's a different vibe. When you're around women, for one, you got to smile more to make them feel a little comfortable. And it's just it's a different vibe, man. Like, you can tell he actually enjoyed helping the WNBA girls, coaching young ladies, going to the games. Because when you have daughters, too, you learn to respect women a little more.
Yeah.
Just because you're raising some and you don't like how people treat female athletes. Yeah. So you realize that we're all the same.
And you take a liking to their interests too.
Yeah,
because if she wants to, his youngest Gigi wanted to be a basketball player. So what he was doing, he was training her like he would train. Like how to be a professional, but he had his oldest daughter was a volleyball player. Yeah. So it's just you just take an interest in making sure if your kids like something, you just make sure you give them the tools. If they like it and they want to pursue it as they get older, cool. If they if they want to stop, you're like, all right, you did your best. You found out you didn't like it anymore, but you had your fun doing it. That's cool.
If some of you parents out there, if your kids are playing a sport that you don't like, who cares? Support.
Yeah.
It's not about you. That time was over.
Yeah, that too. So yesterday was weird. And then there was another. And then to make yesterday worse, a great NBA writer passed away from COVID. Sekou Smith, he passed away from COVID, and I was just watching this guy on NBA TV, and I never met him, but I've been at a lot of places he's been at at the conferences, so he was always around. I just never met him, but it's like when you see a guy all the time and you respect his work, his journal, what he did for a lot of journalists, you're just like, wow.
Nah, it was sad. It was sad. I didn't know how inspirational he was to a lot of people until you start hearing people talk about him.
Yeah.
Even Mr. Aldridge, what's his name, David Aldridge?
Yeah.
He was very emotional, and he doesn't really get emotional about anybody. But Sekou Smith was a cool dude. I like listening to him. You know what I mean?
Especially like all the NBA writers. NBA writers of color, they all have the same. They all have a bond, so they all know each other and all pretty have a connection with each other. So it was yesterday was January 26th. It's just woo.
Yeah, man, it was sad day.
All right, and then lastly, the NBA actually considering playing the All-Star game in Atlanta of all places, knowing Atlanta's like COVID hub. I don't know why. I don't know why they're even considering this. I think maybe the capitalism, but
maybe it's entertainment business because we all would love to see the All-Star game. It's just but it's just not the same. It's a weekend event. It's a worldwide event basically. It's just not the same. But I know fans want to see their favorite players out there.
Yeah.
Just competing, just to keep your mind off some stuff. And if we're still on lockdown and all that stuff, you might as. I mean, I'm not opposed to them just playing the game. But it's not gonna be the same, so I just say scrap it.
You gotta scrap it because there's too much happening, and plus there's games being postponed. They're rearranging the schedule. It's if there was a year not to have it, this is the year not to have it because there's so much going on, and then we've already had players test positive. Some players had to get into the protocol just not for testing positive, just for being around someone who's tested positive. Well, you have this All-Star. If you have this All-Star game, and then 3 days after, half the league test positive, then it's like you have to put the thing on pause again, and they don't want that. So. And none of the players want to do a bubble ever again.
I was gonna say the players don't want to do a bubble, but they have no problem risking themselves to be exposed by COVID, and it's kind of messing up the season. So y'all might as well just suck it up, go in the bubble again, and by then I'm sure vaccines and all that stuff will be situated. Because I heard they try to do stuff by the summer. Yeah. So at some point, the league gotta sit down with some of the best players, some of the top guys in the league, and figure out what they're gonna do. Because this postponing games, but Lance Stevenson made a valid point too. Though he's open the rosters. You got guys that adequate players that can play that are in China and certain places. OJ Mayo still banned. Yeah. He's out there killing in China.
Yeah, that too.
Lance Stevens open the roster, give some guys some opportunity. If anything, this should be the year where you could do those type of things because you still need to put a product out there.
Yeah, they definitely do. Yeah, I just don't think those guys want to be in that bubble again. Just being in one place for that long. I think mentally it must.
Nobody wants to, but if you're worried about your product and the product fills your pockets, you need to figure it out.
Either not a bubble or just try to figure out something that could be regionally beneficial to everybody. So not everybody's going all over the place.
There shouldn't be no non-conference, but cross-conference games.
Cross-country games.
Yeah, it should just be whatever division you're in. Y'all should try to get those games knocked out. You can and try to figure out something. But I don't think too many East Coast and West Coast teams should be playing just because there's too much travel and all that.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's trying times to figure it out. I mean, they could have figured.
They had the bubble was the best formula. Yeah. So unfortunately, that's the only thing y'all got.
Yeah, unless they do a different type of bubble. It's like a regional piece, so everybody in the same area.
Like four sections.
Yeah,
you can do that with the divisions.
Yeah,
but still, it's still a bubble. The guys gonna still be mad. They're stuck in a bubble. So
we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's just no All-Star game. Give the people who got their All-Star that are All-Stars, give them their All-Star money and all, and whatever. But all right, we gonna go to Athlete's Corner. We got a good one. We got JP Guy, former classical running back. We got him on there. It was a great one. So Athlete's Corner. We're gonna come back around the world of sports and wrap this thing up. Hello and welcome to another edition of Athlete's Corner, and we have a special guest with us. We've been going down memory lane with a lot of Lynn athletes, and this one we got former Lynn Classical running back, everything running back for the Rams. JP Guy, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. And yourself?
I'm well, man. I want to thank you for taking the time just to chat with me, because this is something I wanted to do last year, just to highlight some of the great players we've had in Lynn, just to give them the love that they deserve. Because sometimes as time goes on, people tend to forget. So
yeah. I know, yeah, that is true.
Yeah, just want to thank you. But first, let's get into it. Playing at classical, the tradition that classical football has. Just when you first got there, when you first got there, your first year there, just tell me what was like going through your mindset, like, what was like your thought process, how do you want it to be remembered when you first got there and then when you left?
When I first got there, man, it was some big hitters there. It was James Ridley, James Runner, who else can I say? Greg Burke. There was a lot of big guys there. So me as a freshman, I was barely 5 feet.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, but like going in, I always loved defense. I started off in Pop Warner. I played on defense. I played defensive end. Mm-hmm. And but when I just wanted to make varsity. And I set that goal. I played one freshman game, 2 JV games, and then after that I didn't play. After that I just played varsity.
Mm-hmm. When you first started off varsity, I know when you first get there as a freshman, the roles is kind of, because there's so many guys ahead of you, so your role is limited. But when you got your role on varsity, was it one of those things like, all right, I got this role right now, let me make sure I excel, so just they know, when the season's over, they know my potential and what I can do?
Yeah, that is right. Because like when I started at running back, I think there was actually 3 running backs. There was Rozzy, it was James Runner, and then it was Greg Burke. And I think Greg ended up getting hurt, and I think Rozzy ended up getting hurt. Something like that. And I had got the call, I think it was like Winthrop. And I balled out that game. I was the only one to score in that game. We ended up losing, I think it was like by a touchdown, but I was the only one to score in the game. And after that, it was history was made. And it was just like, yeah, I'm here to stay now.
Yeah. And with those guys, being older, how did they help you out in your development throughout that process? And you say 2 guys got hurt. Just how did they help you get prepared for that one?
The way they helped me out, there was like, because back in the day, everyone was hard on you. Like they didn't care if you was a freshman through senior. They didn't care. It was like, if you're in there, you're gonna play. It was like, and like there was times like I was tired. They're like, no, come on, let's go. We need you in here. You're here for a reason. We need you in here. So like you had to like suck it up. You had to just stay in there. Like you don't want to be on the sidelines. Like that's basically what they said. You don't want to be on the sideline. Do you want to be in the game, right? All right. So take your opportunity and go out there and play.
Mm-hmm. And moving forward, and so I would take it sophomore year, the role, your role on the team, you got a lot more increased a great amount from your freshman year, just because you got that experience from playing, and coming into sophomore year, you get more. Your role is increased, just the preparation for that and taking on that role. What was that like for you?
It was really what I had to do is in the summertime and in the preseason, what I did is I took an initiative that I'm gonna go out. I ended up running the hills at in the Highlands.
Okay.
I took my backpack. I put some weights in there. I was running up and down the hills. I'll go to the beach. I'll rollerblade to the beach, and then do workouts in the sand. Like I really wanted to improve every year. Like I had goals like that. I need to get better every year. Like I can't just stay in one spot and be happy with it. You know what I'm saying? Right. So as I'm doing that, like everybody else is like, I'm gonna come with you. You know what I'm saying? Like then I had a couple guys come with me with rollerblade all day, do workouts and do whatever until like double sessions came. So
and that's one thing about back then is, during the off season in camp, the favorite part for everyone is the day to put on pads. Now the rules right now are kind of, all over the place.
Yeah.
But those days, it was once the pad day. That's what everybody was looking for. That was the best part of camp. Just talk to me about those practices that you guys had, because I'm sure the practices may have been more fun than the games.
Oh yeah, definitely. I must say, I think it was my best double session. It was.
Thank you, JP, for that. All right. That interview was like 30 minutes. So if you want to watch that full interview, it will be uploaded to the YouTube channel, most likely at the end of this week, and it'll be on the website as well at some point. So go to the YouTube channel. Will have that full interview. So it was a good one. We talked a lot. Talked about some past players. We talked about a lot of guys, and there's gonna be some more great ones.
Dev, I mean, Will, that's my guy. I tell people all the time, he's the only reason why I know how to give dap with my left hand. He was one of the he's a little older than me, so he's one of the guys that kind of took me under their wing when I was be at the gardens by myself sometimes with Randy and them, and JP was one of those as well.
Yeah.
So I'm just thankful to be around somebody that was like that, and like I tell people all the time, he's the best. He's one of the best athletes I know.
And we will be having Will Brogdon on, so I'm looking forward to that, because I've known Will. Well, Will's known me since I was in first grade. He's known me since I was like in first grade, and that's one guy. Anytime I see him, I have to show him love, because he's just Will. He was one of those guys I like that inspired me to play. Watching him play made me want to go out and play. So, anytime I see Will, I just gotta show him love, because I got the utmost respect for him, because he used to be at the camps too. He was a camp leader, the basketball camps, and he was there. He used to always look out.
And he always had good energy. Always had good energy. Never treated you differently than anybody. Always showed love. And my little cousin's his nephew too. So that's probably some.
So me and Will gonna chop it up. Can't wait for you guys to see that. So there's an interview coming with Will Brogdon. So y'all stay tuned for that. And on that one, let's go around the league before we close up this episode. So we're gonna go around the world of sports first. Conor McGregor got his behind knocked out in the second round by Dustin Poirier. I think this is gonna set up for a third matchup between these two guys, because this was their second matchup. McGregor won the first one, Poirier won the second one. So they'll fight again. The thing with McGregor, what some people said, he's not that same hungry fighter that he was before. And
seen his tweet?
Nah.
He was like, they hate you one week, they love you one week, and they hate you the next week. Just make sure you get paid both weeks. I ain't mad at that one. And he took that loss like a champ. I seen after the fight, he was shaking his hand.
Yeah, he's changed. He's changed. He's matured a lot, but I think that the antics is. I miss the antics. I'm not gonna lie. I miss the antics.
Yeah,
the antics were hilarious. But once again, that's just a guy who's matured. And UFC is one of those sports. You win some, you lose some. You can't win them all.
But you live.
You live to fight another day. So they'll probably have another one between them two. All right. Texas coach in college basketball, Texas coach Shaka Smart, he's going to be sidelined for a while. He got a positive COVID test. Texas, they lost last night by 1 point to Oklahoma, but they're number 5 in the nation. They've been really good this year. So since he got there, he's doing well since he got there. He's putting a good amount of guys in the NBA too.
I'll be honest, this year's kind of like the Twilight Zone, because all the teams that are supposed to be good are trash. Like it's crazy to be. Like COVID's really affected the college basketball to a certain extent, but the teams that usually aren't as heralded are doing some big things. So
hey man, I think it's that time for that. The one and done. We're seeing it's kind of drying out now, because you need veterans on the team pretty much. You can't.
And some of the guys that are considered one and done aren't really producing the way they should be.
Yeah. It's a different ball. Every time you step up, it's a different ball. It's a different beast. All right, Michigan, they're closing their facilities and pausing activities for 14 days. It commits up to 4 games, due to there's some positive tests within the program and departments and all that. So taking all precautions, but Michigan, nice.
Yeah, I better not be where I'm going this weekend.
No.
I'm in Detroit, but
I don't think it's Detroit.
Cool.
They're in Ann Arbor, so they're up there.
Right. Yeah. I hope it don't trickle down.
Yeah, but Michigan, nice. I watched them play. They nice.
And what was it, Wagner's little brother, right?
Yeah, he on there.
He got some game.
Yeah, them dudes are nice. All right. All right, so some NFL news. Former Steelers and Raiders receiver Martavis Bryant, he's set to play in the Canadian League, Canadian Football League. You know, he's been banned from the NFL, substance abuse. He's suspended. He filed for reinstatement, I think, last year. Didn't get it because substance abuse stuff. So he's playing the Canadian Football League. Maybe he's cleaned up his act. He does well there. He could get a shot back in the NFL. So we'll see what happens. But, I mean, the guy's he's had some off-field issues. All the talent in the world, but it's just all that other stuff.
Yeah, man, I wish him the best.
Yeah. All right, and then the Ravens are set to begin talks on a long-term deal with Lamar Jackson. They're trying to, keep him there for a long time. I just hope if they give him this long-term deal, they give him the adequate weapons necessary for him to lead them to a Super Bowl because they have the talent defensively. They just need to add a few pieces on offense, especially on the outside. Lamar get better with his passing, the accuracy. These guys will be fine because they have everything. They're always going to be in games. He just, he has to improve.
You think he needs more protection too on the line?
Oh yeah.
Because I was going to say, that's part of the reason why he runs so much.
That too.
Protect him, he can turn into a pocket passer.
Yeah, definitely that too. All right, and then the Seattle Seahawks lineman Chad Wheeler. Oh my goodness, this guy was arrested on suspicion of domestic violence. I saw the photos of it. I saw what happened, and it was bad. Like the way, I think it was just bad. It was bad.
You seen photos of his
of the victim? It was bad. And these dudes out here, they're just. I don't understand these dudes and just putting their hands on women, like not understanding. It's not right. Like, you're not a man if you're sitting there putting your hands on women.
Agree.
There was a video I saw last week. A woman goes into the store after work to buy some wine. And saw that.
Yeah, man, that was crazy, bro. Dude try to bite her eye out and stuff. Like, why don't you just let a woman be? She don't want you to pay for her stuff. Like,
and I had a conversation with them. Like, when did these dudes out here become entitled to feel like they should pay for a woman's stuff? Clearly, she walked in the store with intentions to buy herself. She did not ask you to buy it. Why are you trying to offer to buy her something and she doesn't want to? And
you don't even know her. It's not like you knew her. Oh, I grabbed that for you, this, that, and the third. Like, yeah, it was. These people are weird, bro.
And these are the same type of dudes that talk about, oh, she's a gold digger and blah blah. So they're talking about girls who are gold diggers and stuff like that, but they get mad at stuff like this.
You know what type of dudes them guys are too? That guy that approached a girl, he said, "No, I'm taking." Oh, F you, all that weird stuff. Instead of being like, "Oh, my bad. All right, cool. Have a good day." You know what I mean? Like,
here's an idea. How about you leave these women alone that want to be left alone? They just walking, minding their business, going home from work. They already probably stressed out from work. That's probably what the wine is for. And now they got to deal with 3-4 dudes hounding her. She's by herself. It's like, bro, leave these ladies alone.
I hope they catch the men or the men get what they deserve.
Yeah, because that's
either one.
The treatment of women by some of these guys, man.
You know why? Because they're not real men.
Yeah.
That's just what it is.
Yeah, it's like this guy from Seattle, then that guy. It's like, bro, as a society in whole, people just need to get better and understand, like, leave the women alone. They want to be left alone. If they want to talk to you, they want to talk to you. Just leave them alone. I mean, I'm sure if you go walking around, somebody starts talking to you that you don't want to talk to, you just ignore them. I don't want to be bothered. And,
you know me, I'm a little different. Yeah. So I probably would say a couple extra words to make them stop talking to me. Yeah. but honestly, like, as a man, control your emotions, bro. This world is too emotional. Right. Way too emotional. There's no reason why that shit.
Yeah, no reason for you to be offering women to buy them stuff that they don't want you to, and no reason for that guy. That guy, he seriously needs to be put in jail for what he did.
I don't even understand how you could feel right even putting your hands on a woman. I just don't understand why you think that's even a good idea as an adult. Like,
there's a lot of suckers in these worlds.
And I teach kids in school, like, we come from a weird city where, like, boys and girls fight growing up. They fight each other growing up. Once you become an adult, that's out the window. You get arrested, bro. So why don't you stop that now? Yeah. I tell the kids in school, in middle school, stop that now, because I tell the men, act more like gentlemen, and please act more like ladies, please. Like,
yeah. Just leave them alone. Leave these women alone that don't want to be bothered. How about that, people? Leave them alone. They don't want to be bothered. They want to go home and relax, just like everybody else. But for some reason, these people feel entitled that a woman should give them their time because they they're just there.
Yeah,
They're
like for
present.
what? Like who are you to deserve people's time?
Ridiculous, very ridiculous. Karis LeVert, he had successful surgery on the kidney, cancer his kidney. It was successful. So I mean, kudos to him, man. That guy's been through a lot.
Hopefully, he doesn't go through anything else.
Yeah. Hopefully, he recovers and gets back on the court because he's way talented of a player. But you know, kudos to him. Hank Aaron passed away last week at 86. You know. Great figure in baseball, dealt with a whole lot of racism, when he was passing Babe Ruth, dealt with death threats, and he still was able to overcome that, live 86 years.
You seen the story about when he hit it, and the security guy was saying it's the best decision he ever made. He's ready to shoot them two white dudes that ran on the field, just for safety purposes, but he made the decision not to when you see how it panned out.
I mean, those two white dudes, not a lot of people are a fan of them for doing that because, like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing?
But to show support because of the world they was in back then, I thought it was cool. You know what I mean? Just because you didn't see two white guys supporting Hank Aaron until he did that. So, you know, they was trying to show things have changed, but stay in your seats.
Yeah, right? Stay in your seats. Especially black folks at that time don't, you know, white folks coming around like that. You know,
they're on edge.
They're on edge at that time, during that time.
They almost got murdered. But I'm glad he didn't.
Yeah, rest in peace to Hank Aaron for that. All right, no player on the 2021 Hall of Fame ballot was voted in, so the Hall of Fame, no player on the ballot 2021. Roger Clemens, Barry Bonds, Herb Schilling. Once again, they didn't get the 75% votes.
Well,
you know,
I mean, Barry and Roger, what would they consider the steroids and stuff? Roger Clemens is one of my favorite pitchers of all time.
But you know, many people who cover the sport were saying, these guys were already Hall of Famers before the steroid stuff. So, you know, there's an issue. People have issues with the baseball writers because they hold grudges, and then nobody likes Barry Bonds.
And some of them guys, like, real old.
Yeah.
So I seem like MLB's waiting for them guys to die off so they can start, like, giving guys their votes.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. But yeah, that's just wild. All right, and then the college football, they have 5 new members to their college football committee. Will Shield, Hall of Fame lineman, Joe Taylor, Virginia Union AD, and he's also the winningest coach in HBCU history. Okay. Mitch Barnett, Kentucky AD, Boo Carrigan, Texas AD, and Chris Del Conte, another AD. But so kudos to that, and that is it. So top 10 from the divisional round. Top 10 from the conference championship, and then that's it. We'll be back to wrap it up. Alright, and we are back. Okay. Alright. St. Mary's senior night tonight, 7:30. I might be there, I might not, depending on, what gets done and, all that.
How are they doing that senior night thing? Just the parents are allowed to be there?
Yeah, the parents.
No siblings?
Probably. I think they get like 1 or 2.
What if you got 5 siblings?
Well,
you gotta tell
stream it.
watch it. You go with 3. You gotta stay home.
Watch it on the stream. So senior night for St. Mary's. is tonight. Also, go to After the Whistle Instagram page. We got some highlights from college basketball up there. We got some post-game interviews, a whole bunch of stuff. Go over there, follow the page, all that good stuff. LCTV website, linktv.org. Go to the website, LCTV YouTube channel. You know the deal. Subscribe to that. Make sure you like the Facebook page to get all the up-to-date information on the city, what's going on at City Hall and all that good stuff. Follow Mr. Burton 23 on his Instagram page. Follow me, Mukala K, on my Instagram page. Man, we got next week. Next week is the Super Bowl week, so it's gonna be 3 of us, and we're definitely gonna have a good show next week. We're gonna have Will Brogdon will be the Athlete's Corner interview, so that one's gonna be a good one. A lot of stuff, and also all the former athletes in Lynn, holla at me. We gotta let people know about the tradition and all that stuff. We gonna get one with him. I see him all the time. That's why I haven't had one with him yet. I see him all the time.
You do me last.
Yeah, pause. Pause.
Yeah,
That.
pause. You know what I meant.
But yeah,
interview me last.
But yeah, we just trying to show love to everybody, all the former players, the current players too. Right now there's no season, but we always show them love. So we just trying to show love to everybody. And yeah, on that note, we are out of here. Have a great day, ladies and gentlemen.